Welcome to episode number 5 of the Buffet Show. We're here in Compton with Dr. Keith Curry. Wanted to come out here. Not only we were together in UC Santa Cruz, but he's done a lot of great things. And so, you know, as what we do with this show, trying to showcase folks that are doing great things in the community. And so very honored to have Keith Curry here. Let me just go through his bio, which
it's an official bio too.
It's official. I just got it it's hot.
Hot off the plate.
So he's adopted a slogan: every student is a success story. Believes that every community college student can be successful with the right academic and student support services. Dr. Curry has taken a strong stance in the ability of community colleges to provide quality education to students and to provide an environment of educational excellence. He also has a passion for teaching those students who aspire to careers as higher education administrators. He is the president, CEO of Compton College and Compton Community College District, responsible for overseeing all departments and functions of the Compton College and Compton District, and serves as secretary to the Board of Trustees. Mr. Curry brings an abundance of energy and innovative ideas to the district, along with a wealth of experience as a post-secondary education administrator. He's an active member of the Foundation for Compton Community College District, the Association of California Community College Administrators, and the statewide Association of Community Colleges President's Roundtable. Keith earned his bachelor's degrees in American Studies at UC Santa Cruz.
And that's your major?
Yes, it is. Emphasis in, what was my emphasis in?
Mine was
expressive culture.
Mine was political, social, and economic change.
All right. Received his doctorate in educational leadership from UC Irvine. He is an adjunct faculty member at the California State University Fullerton College of Education. He's also presented at numerous conferences, workshops, symposia. His expertise includes preparing students for higher education, bridging the digital divide, establishing partnerships among post-secondary institutions, and ensuring access for all students. Welcome, Dr. Keith Curry.
Hey, you know, anybody that comes to Compton to do an interview with me, I give them all the time. So, you know, I'm here, and I'm glad to be here. It's in my office too. He came to Compton just to get some time with me. So I'm delighted. I'm excited. I'm here to answer all questions. Have a little bit of fun, crack a little bit of jokes too, and just enjoy my time.
I appreciate you inviting me over, and also I got my son here. He's in the background, so he may pop out sometime during the show. Maybe.
Hey, you know, my son went to school here from the ages of 3 to 5. So whenever people ask him where he's from, he says he's from Compton. He never lived in Compton one day in his life, but his experience at this campus, this is where he was raised. So our campus is open to children. We love kids on our campus because eventually they might take a community college course. So your son, you take class when he turns 18, 19, can always do a distance ed course at Compton College.
All right, I remember.
Recruit them all.
All right. Starting them young.
They're starting young.
I want to get right to it, Keith, because I want to kind of more so get to the process of how you got to where you're at now. You know, how did you get? You know, was there a certain point in your life or an event or someone that kind of led you down this road that you're on now?
You know, I had a lot of mentors throughout my professional career that have guided me to this point. When I look at the mentor who I really look up to, his name was Dr. Juan Francisco Lara. He was the assistant vice chancellor at UC Irvine, University of California, Irvine Enrollment Services. He kind of pushed me into understanding higher education, administration, and it's not just about being a part of outreach. Because, you know, I started out in recruitment, right, and I thought outreach was the thing. That was the job. and he kind of pushed me into student services, student affairs, understanding the bigger picture, understanding the importance of partnership with your local K-12 districts, understanding how to make connections with individuals when you talk about your institution and how that connection can lead to another opportunity. So he gave me a lot of insight at a young age. When I started working at UC Irvine, I was 21 years old, and I was there till I was 26. And during that 5-6 year period, it was more so of me just learning from him, watching the way he interacts, watching the way he talks, watching the way he writes, watching the way he does public speaking, just watching everything, watch how he works a room. And so I kind of modeled my career after him. But he always told me, he said, "No, Keith, you always got to make sure that you have fun in what you're doing, right?" And so for me, I'm a college president, but also too, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy interacting with students. I enjoy interacting with those students' kids. I enjoy interacting with my faculty and staff. I enjoy what I do. So when I come to work, it's a lot of work to be done, but I enjoy it. So it doesn't feel like it's work, right? I just have to get paid over the first of the month, right? But I enjoy what I do. I enjoy solving problems. But I learned all that from watching how he works and how he just everything that he did. And he passed away a couple years ago. And my thing has always been to continue to follow and follow his guidance, and I can be successful in what I'm doing. So that's how I got to this point. But once I graduated, so let me give you the educational piece of how I got to where I'm at. Education professional. So I went to UC Santa Cruz, graduated as mentioned in American Studies. Once I completed UC Santa Cruz, I got a job at UC Irvine, working in the Center for Educational Partnership, where Dr. Lana was the big boss at the Center for Educational Partnership. From there, I applied to grad school. I got into UC Irvine Educational Doctorate Program in Educational Leadership. So I did that program. It took me a while to finish. And that took some time because I transferred jobs from UC Irvine. So I was at UC Irvine Early Academic Outreach Program, became the director of the Early Academic Outreach Program. And the opportunity arose in 2005 when Compton College accreditation was revoked. I read a newspaper and I was like, wow, this is interesting. And a couple of days later, I get a phone call. Someone says, hey, Keith, let's talk about an opportunity at Compton College. And I was like, okay, no, not gonna hurt it. So I had a conversation about the opportunity, and long story short, I accepted the interim dean position of Compton College on June 28th, 2005. Ended up coming here August 15th, 2005, and it was probably the best decision I made. It's probably the scariest decision too. I remember crying, right? People say you're not supposed to cry. I remember crying and having a conversation with myself because for me it was a change, right? I was used to working in the University of California system. University of California was the cream of the crop, the top 12% of all high school graduating seniors. I'm thinking this is where I need to be. No, right? The community college is where it's at, right? We're taking majority of the students who graduate from high school go to community college. I didn't know that then. I didn't know the opportunity that community college we had. I just knew that Compton College accreditation revoked, and I want to do something to help. Now, did I know that I would end up being the college president in 2017, and the college is officially accredited on June 7th, 2017, as the 114th California Community College? Had no idea. But it's a great story, though.
It's a fantastic story.
Right? So, and I tell people that. So my education from Santa Cruz to UC Irvine and my work experience at UC Irvine to be an interim dean at Compton College, to be the dean, to be the chief executive officer, and to be the first president of the new 114th California Community College, Compton College. To me, it's a success story to be where I'm at. But it didn't happen because of me. It happened because of the faculty, the staff, the students, the community believing in this institution, and also putting pressure to say we want to see it accredited, and the drive that I have to make sure that we're able to do that. But the people did the work, right? My job is more so having a vision and ensure that we implement that vision. At some point, all the people do the work. so the people get to work. And now we're fully accredited, and now there's new challenges that come with that.
Right.
And so I'm excited about that. So I have to, start in 2005, when I first arrived here, the challenge was accreditation. So June 7th, 2017, we achieved that. So now it's like, okay, you achieved it, so what's next? So I set some new benchmarks, right? So the last 2 years, I've been trying to figure out prior to June 7th, okay, once we go credit, okay, well, how we refocus how we shift.
Right.
So I was prepared for this. So now I'm shifting to another focus on how do you make it the best community college within the state of California or within the nation.
Now, before we go ahead of ourselves, because we're going to get to that.
That's right.
But I want to know more about Keith Curry prior to Santa Cruz. What was going on? You had an impetus to go into education, and before you got into Santa Cruz, what was going on with you in terms of just the environment? What was there an event? Was there folks that were like, you need to go to college, you need to do certain things, you need to go into education?
So I'm from Compton, born and raised, 1013 South Pearl, Compton, California. Was a block and a half away from this institution. I ended up going to Venice High School in Los Angeles. My two brothers went to Venice High School. One went to Oral Roberts University. The other went to San Diego State University. So I was the first person in my family to go to University of California campus. My older brother, he was the first one in our family to go to college. But I always say I was the first one in my family to go to University of California campus. I just say because University of California campus came a crop, so I always tell my brothers that, I was in the top school out of high school. But when I was in high school, I had a 1.6 GPA in ninth grade. I wasn't really focused on higher education. I went to Cal State Northridge for a college field trip, and I noticed how at 12 o'clock people are hanging out at the cafeteria. And I was like, oh, I want to go to college. So I refocused in my academics. So I ended up going. So I'll be prepared to go to University of California campus. And I knew that's what I want to do. I really wasn't trying to apply to Santa Cruz. That was I went through 5 or 6 applications. And so that weekend before it was due, the Thanksgiving weekend, I only had 1 application left. And Santa Cruz was so cool with it. They had a little stamp on it. So you were forced to apply to that campus. I had a fee waiver. There was only 4 schools I could apply to. I wasn't going to pay for it to apply. So Santa Cruz was 4 I applied to. And out of 4 I applied to, that was when I got in. And so I went to Santa Cruz. I never visited Santa Cruz. I went sight unseen. When I first got to the gates, to the entrance, I saw the sign of mountain lions, and at the mountain lions, and I was in my brother's like, I don't know if this is a place for me, but he dropped me off. He unloaded the car, dropped me off, and left. And I had to survive on my own. But it was I'm a survivor. So from even in the high school to college to now, I know how to survive. So you put me in any type of environment, I'm going to survive. And so I wasn't a real academic and always focused throughout high school and middle school, but I refocused myself towards the end of 10th grade year, 10th and 11th grade, 12th grade. I was really focused on my academics. And then also Santa Cruz, I was focused on academics as well. And not too people think like, oh, Keith, what do you study? I always find time to study. I always find time to read. Because most people don't know what I'm doing, right? Like I like to have a lot of fun, but you don't know what I'm studying.
Right.
So you don't know.
You're around.
Yeah. So you don't know, right? So my mom used to always say, you're an undercover nerd, right? That was her whole thing when I was a kid. Because no one knew that I was studying. Like I had 2 sets of books in high school. So I had a set of books at the high school, and I had a set of books at home. So when I would go home from school, I had a backpack, but it had barely nothing in it because my books were at home. So people were like, you study all the time? They're like, you never had books. I did, but they were at home. I didn't tell everybody that. So, but I always had a system in place. And my wife, she knows that too, with regards to she always wondered, like, how do you get work done? Because I'm always working. If I'm on a plane, I'm reading. If I'm at home, I'm in my bed reading on my cell phone, I'm reading stuff. If I'm in a hotel room, but I'm out of town a lot, I'm reading, I'm working. I'm always working, I'm always engaged. And so that's just how I am. So to answer your question a little further, is that I learned early on that I wanted to do something, be successful in my life. I didn't know what it was going to be, but I knew that I had to go to college. And the only reason I got a doctorate degree, because someone who told me, and the person ended up going to jail because he did some cricket. But the one advice he told me, right? He didn't go to jail, but the one advice that he told me, he says, Keith, if you ever go to grad school, you go to grad school for one reason. And I was like, what? What is that reason? He's like, you want to be able to have doors open for you. You don't want nobody to tell you you can't have a certain job because you don't have that degree. That's why I got a doctorate degree.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really pursuing post-secondary. I didn't care. I wasn't looking at a graduate degree. But when he said that, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Because I want to have all the opportunities available to me. I want to take advantage of it. But if you don't say no because I don't have a doctorate degree, then I'm going to go get one. And so, I see many people around me, even ones who did stuff negative.
Now, recently, you were honored with the Distinguished Educator Award by CSU Los Angeles. In your acceptance speech, you said you thanked the UCSC literature professor who told you that you wouldn't graduate from UCSC. Now, one, I want to hear that exchange. As a student going to UC Santa Cruz. And then two, why does it still motivate you after all these years?
So anyone that's done anything negative to me, I never forget, right? And I use that as motivation. This one professor, it was a literature professor at UC Santa Cruz. I never forget, it was at, the class was at Crown College. I never forget the day we were in there, and we were just having a conversation, and she basically said I could write. And she said that your writing skills need to be worked on, and I don't think you'll be able to graduate from this institution with the writing skills that you have. And I was more so hurt because I thought maybe you say, okay, let me help you. It was more so like, graduate from here, right? It's like, dismiss me. And I remember I called my brother, and he was at Oral Roberts University. He was like, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Just stay focused. And that night I was hurt. I was crushed. But the next day I woke up, I was like, okay, I got to prove somebody else wrong. So in my whole life, I always feel like I got to prove somebody wrong. So with that professor, I kind of want to send her a thank you card, right? But it's like, it's not even worth it. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to have more of an impact on millions of people because of what she said, right, as a faculty member. So I'm going to continue to work as hard as possible to prove this one individual wrong. And then by doing that, it's going to make an impact of change not only to those individuals, but also to the communities that we serve. So at the end of the day, it's more so of a thank you, but also to know that I can't be that same type of person who, instead of trying to put negative comments to people, you also have to encourage individuals to be successful. Mm-hmm. And so I use that as encouragement. So it's still in my graduation speech from UC Santa Cruz, I mentioned this individual. So whenever I accept an award, I mention this individual because I want other educators to know that we can't be like this individual. But also, too, whenever I get a chance to, because one day she might hear me speak and be like, oh, that was me. And you know what? I proved you wrong. So that's my motivation. But I think it's, everyone got some type of motivation in life. She's mine.
Now, you use the hashtag United States of Compton. Now, what exactly does that mean? What does Compton represent to you?
Compton's home, right? Compton is where I'm from. And I say this a lot in speeches. I'm not on rap videos. I'm not an athlete. I'm not on rap videos. I'm not an athlete. I'm not a drug dealer. I'm just a young kid from Compton trying to make it. And Compton means a lot to me. This is where I'm from. And I think it's important for people to see that you can be from Compton and not be an athlete or a rapper or a musician and still be successful. I'm not saying that athletes are not successful. I'm just saying that there's always the other type. And I want to be the other type and to say that, you know what, I'm from Compton. I became an educator from Compton, and I came back to give to my community. When I look at Compton being accredited and being a part of it, the one thing that for me means the most is that I'm from here. I know what this institution means, and to be a part of it coming back, I can retire. My career's done because I fulfilled the one thing I never thought I could do, right? And I'm from here, so it means so much to me. It means a lot to say I came back to my community and I did something for my community.
Do you feel like you get the love in return?
I'm getting love now, right? But when I first started, it was rough, right? I was called that I wasn't competent to be the CEO, that I was too young, I didn't have enough experience, and so it hurt, right? But I used that as motivation to prepare myself to be able to move things forward. But we had a plan, right? And the plan was executed. But we had a plan. I understood the timeline in regards to being accredited. We did research in regards to what other colleges did in order to be accredited. But we worked hard, right? I mean, the people worked for the last 3 years to move this institution forward, and they deserved it. And we earned it. It wasn't something that was given to us to be accredited. We actually earned it. And that's the part that makes me feel really good, right? Because we have changed this institution to make it a quality institution in our community for our students. And I feel good about that. But to go back to your question, is the motivation for me is what people have said to me in the past, the professor from UC Santa Cruz, also what community people have said about the institution, also about my leadership. And it feels good to prove people wrong, right? Because that's my motivation, is that if you doubt us and doubt what I can do for my institution, I want to prove you wrong to show I can do it. There's no obstacle that we can't cross if you believe in yourself, and you believe in what you're doing. And I believe in myself, and I also believe in this institution. And giving back to this institution is what's important, because I think it's important that we see people who look like us, who are successful, come back to our community to help the other ones to get to where we're at. That to me is how you make change within your community. My major at UC Santa Cruz was American Studies with the emphasis in political, social, economic change, right? And I remember being in my classes with Ann Lane. If you ever watched Ann Lane, one of the best
Shout
professors.
out to Ann Lane. One
of the best professors ever. She always talked about like the importance of giving back, right? And you really don't know that, because a lot of times you become successful, it's not that you want to leave your community, it's just that you end up leaving, right? Things just happen. For me, I've been lucky enough to be able to be given this opportunity within my community. And I don't have to leave, right? I don't have to leave to go to another community college to prove myself. I'm happy where I'm at my community college, to be able to make a change and make a difference.
Joys and struggles of this work. Joys.
Oh, seeing those students graduate on graduation day with their cap and gowns, that's the joy, right? And their excitement. And then the cool part too is I get to wear my cap and gown. And I always tell the students I can wear my little fluffy hat, my little poofy hat, and my University of California robe, and that gives them something to strive for. Because I always say it's a cool robe, but I don't wear it too often. But that means I want them to get a robe like mine. And so I enjoy graduation. I enjoy taking pictures with the families and the friends of the graduates at graduation. That's like my favorite day. Then also my other favorite day to enjoy is the first day of school. You get to meet new students on the first day, and they're lost, right? And they're trying to find their way, but it's their first day. So no matter if you're the president, whatever job you got, they just happy that you're trying to help them. They're just trying to find that classroom for their first class. And that one piece of help you provide, it makes a difference. This past fall, we talked about the joys. We did something different. We did valet parking. It cost $22,000. Some people say, Dr. Curry, you really gonna do valet parking? It's like, yeah, I am. Because San Diego Mesa, they did it, and it was a success. And you figure if most students you can't find parking, what's gonna happen? They're gonna leave, and they're not gonna come back. Our students within our community, they leave, they don't come, they might not never come back. So we did valet parking for the first 2 weeks of school, and it was a hit. And to hear students talk about, I'm glad we did valet parking. It made me feel good, because I know we lose students because on the first 2 weeks of school because they can't find a place to park, right? And so the joy of seeing the valet parking, that was a joy, because that was the idea based off of conversation with students and see what San Diego Mesa does, because students don't have parking the first 2 weeks. So my joys: first day of school, graduation day, talking to students. This year this is a crazy story, but I went to elementary school with someone, right? And so this woman I went to elementary school, we started out in, I think it was second or third grade. And so I've known her my whole life, right? I know her and her mom. Her mom passed away very young. And she has 2 kids. So she gets our newsletter about the college. She follows me on Facebook, this and the other. And so she sent me a message on Facebook. She said, yeah, my son's come to Compton. I was like, wow, I got to know recruitment. Easy, right? And she's like, yeah, where else you going to go? Done deal. I was happy about that. So the first day of school, she says, I'm going to make sure he come see you. I said, don't worry about it. Just send me a schedule. So I get a schedule. So I go see him on the first day. Just think about that. You got somebody you went to school with, elementary school. Their child is now here, a freshman on your campus. Whenever he has a problem, he comes to my office. He cuts all the red tape, right? And the joy for me is to see this kid come to my office, and he's excited that he has access to me. But if he has any issues, he comes directly to me. Right. That's a joy because I have to connect with these students. But it's connecting not just with as a student, but for me, it's just looking at my life where I know your mom since I was in 3rd grade, right? Since I was 8 years old, right? Now I'm 40. That's 32 years. Now I'm watching her son at my institution, and she gave me you to take after and watch over with no questions. That's a joy. Now, when see him graduate and transfer to a 4-year college, he wants to go to Clark Atlanta University. And so, we do the HBCU tours. And so he's trying to figure that stuff out. Right. He wasn't going to see the historical Black college. But it's just, that's the joy, is just the students. And another thing that's a joy for me, I'm really into athletics. When I was 12 years old, I was a ball boy for the Compton college football team. I always tell people we weren't that good then, and we're okay now. But we have 60 kids out there who enjoy themselves, and it's great. And I love watching our football team and all our sports. But going from a 12-year-old ball boy for the football team to being a dean overseeing athletics, to now being the chair of the California Community College Athletic Association, overseeing all athletics, right? And to see the joy for me, seeing my career and just from 12 years old to where I'm at now, but also seeing our student athletes and seeing what they go through. And not only having to have that conversation on my campus, right? I'm able to have that conversation statewide and nationally about athletics and what community college athletes needs. That to me is a joy, right? Because I'm able to have a broader conversation that can have a bigger impact on our system regards to athletics. Right? So again, like I told you earlier with the person who told me that the instructor that I might not graduate. Okay, yeah, I hear you, but now with that example I just gave you, I'll be able to impact millions, changing the way we're making athletics over the next couple of years.
Hardships. How hard was it being in that position? Right, you kind of mentioned that, too young, inexperienced, but you use that fed you in terms of motivating you. Now, as you're trying to do your thing, you still probably got, some bad feedback. Let's say, what kind of how does that feel in terms of that type of negative feedback? You use that as motivation, but what more specifically were the more hurtful things that you experienced as you were trying to get yourself together in terms of moving forward?
I think the hardship is the amount of time you the biggest hardship is the workload, right? So today my work day started at I've been sick, so I woke up at 6 o'clock. Usually I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I get home normally about 7, 8, maybe 9 o'clock every night. that's a drain on yourself and your family because you're always working. Then also travel, right? This past month, the month of October, I was out of town almost 15, 16 days of the month. That's a hardship, right? So the time commitment for this job, it's demanding, and that's a hardship, right? Because it's nonstop. It never stops, right? It's meetings after meetings after meetings, and there's always work that needs to be done, and you never feel like you're caught up, right? No matter how much you feel like you get it there, it's too much, right? So the time commitment is a lot, and a lot of people think this job is easy. Just the time commitment alone will wear you out.
Now, how does that tie into family life? How does the wife and the kid think about, dad being gone for 15 days out of the month?
That's why you have Skype, right?
All right.
So you have Skype to have those conversations. But what's interesting, I've been married for 9 years, and my son is turning 8 in January. And my son is funny because he's my best friend. Shouts out to Camilla Ali Curry. He says, Daddy, I miss you. I want to be around. So like when I'm at home, he will bug me all day, right? Because he wants his time. He's the only child. So it takes its toll. But at the end of the day, my wife knows and my son knows my commitment to my community, and they're very supportive. So last week when I accepted the award at Cal State LA for the Educator of the Year award, that was also our date night, right? All right. And so I announced it in my speech, this is my date night. And so my wife had a good time, and she got some flowers, a part of the date night. But we were able to spend time together at that event. And but it does take its toll. So one of the things I've been trying to do as I grow older in this position, I try to have one day where there's no work. So on Sunday, I might read a little bit, but I'm not checking emails. I'm trying to really just relax. And so my wife and I watch different shows on Sunday on TV shows. Like depends on what's going on. Like we like Game of Thrones. All right. That's been one of our favorite shows the last couple of years. We also watch the new one that's on show. Why am I forgetting his name?
Oh no, I don't watch TV.
Power.
All right. Yeah. I thought Stars.
No, it's Power. But it's for us. For me. It's just a way to decompress and to really get into it. We watch Law and Order together as well. I always liked Law and Order. I've liked that for over 20 years. I don't know why, but it's one of those shows I just continue to watch. So we record different shows and we watch those on Sunday. And then we go to church on Sunday as well. My brother's a pastor at Friendship Baptist Church in Yorba Linda, so we do that when I'm in town. My son sings in the choir, so the children's choir. So we do that as well. So I try to find ways to decompress and to relax and spend time with my family. But going back to your original question, regards to the hardships of the job, the main one is the family and the family time, and the demand on your time. But also, too, it's just the responsibility, right? This job has so much responsibility, and you are looked upon as a leader of an institution. I have to lead a group of 300 people, right? And they all have different views. But at the end of the day, it's all focused back to student success. And I was what you read is every student is a success story. I put this slogan out on March of 2011 when I first took the job. That was part of my first speech. And now everywhere on our campus, you see every student is a success story. This is what success looks like. So I continue to talk about student success. And so it's important as a leader and a hardship. It's important to continue to be a leader and to provide direction. And that's hard because you have to make sure that you're not so far out there that the people are not with you. And so how do you keep the people with you as you have these type of conversations? And I've learned a lot more about leadership. For me now in this position, I've been doing it now for almost 6 years. I'm more so trying to really make myself a better leader and really study the way I do things, look at how I run meetings, also how I delegate. I'm really interested in making sure that my staff has an opportunity to really be managers and delegation. And so I'm really trying to delegate and let it go, and then circle back around and find out how the staff are doing and not be so involved in what's happening. And so I'm trying to learn as a leader, but it's there. One of the things you asked about the United States of Compton, that came to me last year during the election time when number 45 was elected. And the reason why I talk about the United States of Compton is that this is one place that I feel that we can control our own destiny, right? I can't really control what happens in D.C. We can't really control what happens in Sacramento. We really can't control what happens regards to what's happening in our community. But one thing we can control, from my perspective, is what happens in our community of Compton. And the slogan of the United States of Compton goes back to, this is something that we can control and we can make right for our community. But it's up to us to take advantage of that and to really do that. So for me, when I look at the United States of Compton, it's something that I believe in, but it's something that we can be able to make change within our community. And so when we announced about 3 weeks ago that any student that graduates from Compton Unified School District who goes to Compton College, they get free tuition, right? That's a significant pledge. And today we had 112 students from one of the high schools in Compton Unified School District, and they're wearing the Compton Promise t-shirts. And to me, and they all know that we go to Compton College for free, at free tuition. We're changing lives, right? But we're able to do that because we have a partnership with Compton Unified School District, who is one of our biggest partners, and we're doing a lot of stuff with Compton Unified. But we're working together. It's not a one-sided relationship. We're working together as a team. So when we go back to the United States of Compton, that's basically to control our own destiny and do what's important for our community.
I like that.
Not try to create my own states or anything.
So, you gonna talk about the work-life balance. I want to know a little bit more. You kind of touched it in terms of on Sundays you're watching flicks, you're going to church. How are you able to sustain that focus in the work that you do? How are you recharging? You say you read a lot, but in terms of just mentally, physically, what are the things that you do to kind of just recharge?
I don't know what I do. There's some people that used to work for me and they moved up in the community college system. They always say, Keith, we never see someone that do it like you. No matter where we go work at, we never see someone that does it like that you do, the way that you do it. I don't know how I recharge. I just continue to stay focused. And actually, I do know how to recharge. When I see these students on our campus who are trying to be successful, that keeps me focused and that recharges me. Today, I was meeting with, we have a program for formerly incarcerated students, which is called Formerly Incarcerated Student Transition Program. And I was meeting with their club president today. And they have 4 issues, right? 4 minor issues, very minor. And the president said something to me today, which is motivated. He said, Dr. Curry, formerly incarcerated students, you have to keep them engaged. Because if we don't keep them engaged, we're going to lose them. Because right now we got their attention. We're doing all the things that we need to be doing to help them be successful. But if we don't stay on them and keep them focused, we're going to lose them. My motivation I was like, okay, so those 4 things that you need for your club, we're going to make sure those things happen. Because I agree with you, right? But that motivates me that this student came to my office to tell me, as a formerly incarcerated, how to keep other formerly incarcerated engaged in higher education. Right. Just think about that, right? I'm saying, these 4 things, that's it? No problem. He's like, our club meets, their club meets every week, I think it is. They have a club, right? We won a Rice Award, but these students they're telling me how to keep them engaged. No problem. All right. That's your motivation. If someone can come to your office and tell you what these students need and say, we need your help to make sure we have these resources, my job is to make sure you have those resources. I don't want to lose those students. We have students who are fresh out of being incarcerated. This is their last shot. And they're asking us for a little support. Yeah. 4 minor things. While they're talking, I was writing emails to make sure they get those 4 minor things resolved. For them, they're big things. For me, those are minor. minor. They're minor. We can easily do that. But that motivates me to see these students who want to be successful. And all they need is a little bit of help from me to help them out. That's my motivation. But it's hard. You know, you got to recharge. I took a vacation this year for the first time. I went to Cabo with my wife and my son. That was an interesting vacation. It was very interesting. My son's, you know, he's 7 years old, and he wanted to show that he was a big boy. So he wanted to have his own room key. Got it. He wanted to be able to leave the room when he wanted to. Okay, no problem. He wanted to prove to himself that he can catch the elevator by himself. And then the funny part about this is just, and I'm recharging, right? I'm resting. So I'm at the pool. I'm at the pool every day. I don't swim that much. And so at the place we're at, you can order your own food, right? So my son knew our room number. He would order food every single day while he's at the pool. And he says, charge it to my room. And so I didn't catch on to it until my wife said, I was like, he's eating again? She's like, yeah. He says, charge it to the room. And he says, my dad's going to pay for it. He's right. I'm going to pay for it. But at the same time, I'm just sitting there laughing because my son, I watch my son grow. And so you have to have that work-life balance. And I tell people that, you know, you have to take a vacation, but I don't follow that rule. But I try to take it here and there, take a chance to relax. And sometimes when I'm out of town, if I get some chance to decompress, I decompress. When I'm in my room, I just sit in the room by myself. Maybe turn the TV on, maybe not. Maybe watch Netflix, maybe not. Or go to sleep, read a book. So that's where I'm able to recharge. Or when I'm at home, I recharge. But for me, it's that I work so hard. And when I get home, I'm so tired. But when I wake up the next day, I'm ready to go. That's how it is every single week. It's right. Because I know the importance of it. I know that these students in our community want to be successful, and they're waiting on me.
So good, man. So Sebastian, say hi.
Hi.
Hi, Sebastian.
Hi.
So Keith, where do you think you'll be next week, 5 years? Do you even think in those terms? But what do you see?
Next week I'll be in San Jose at the Community College of California at their conference. It's our annual conference for community colleges. That will be in San Jose. Our staff is presenting. Shout out to our former student transition program. They'll be doing one of the presentations at the conference. I'm really excited about that, so other community colleges can learn about what we're doing for formerly incarcerated students. I'll be there next week. In a month, I will, December, I'll be around Compton because I got a lot of work to do. Within the next 5 years, all jokes aside, I'm in community colleges. I feel that I will be in a community college system, and I feel I'll be at Compton College. I have no interest in leaving Compton College at this time because I still feel like I got more work to do. Right. I feel like I just started, right? You know, once you become accredited, you know, people are like, okay, Keith, okay, what's next? People are calling me like, okay, are you applying for this job? I'm like, no. Why do I have to leave? Is there something that you know that I don't know? But it's more so, I'm just now like, I want to enjoy this for a little bit, right? I want to enjoy that we're accredited and how to get to the next step and really create a new community college. One of the things I was put out there is that Compton College is the newest California community college. We have the opportunity to invent ourselves as a brand new college. And so I've been doing research. There's a college in New York, which I'm going to try to go visit now. I just thought about that today. This is another travel thing. I got to figure out how to do this. But Gutman College in New York, it opened in the New York system. It opened in 2011 or 12. But it was a brand new community college that's focused on guided pathways. And when I talk to my employees here at Compton, I'm always talking about that college because they have, if you look at the success and retention rates of their students, it's phenomenal, right? But it's a brand new college, started from scratch, right? It's brand new. Who's in that same situation? Compton College. So we can reinvent ourselves and be the supreme, right? Because we talk about community colleges, there's always a reason why your students can't be successful. We talk to your faculty and staff, oh, because our student system can't do this. Oh, it's because of that. Oh, it's because of this. Oh, because of that. But for us, we're starting from scratch. So you can't say, oh, no, we can't do it for this reason. Right. We're brand new.
Right.
right? So that opportunity right there, that wakes me up every morning. Like, oh, we can do this. Oh, y'all got that? Oh, we can do that too. So that to me is exciting.
And that motivates you.
Oh, it motivates me.
Keith, final three. If you were to do any other occupation other than what you're doing now, what would it be?
But I would be a men's basketball coach, community colleges. My father was a basketball coach at community colleges, and I always wanted to be a basketball coach. So that would, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, is I would be a head men's basketball coach at a California community college or a local high school.
Any upcoming projects that you'd like to share?
I got, I'm working on a couple of different initiatives. I got my hands in a lot of different pots. So not only am I the president and CEO of the college, and not only am I also the chair of the California Community College Athletic Association Board of Directors. I'm involved in a couple other different initiatives. I'm involved with the University of California in regards to African American recruitment and retention. They have a committee. I'm the co-chair of that committee. I'm excited about that. Looking at the University of California and how looking at the whole African American recruitment and retention of African American students. So I'm excited about that. I want to spend some more time with that. I'm also, for a few projects as we move forward, the College Promise Initiative, looking at not only Compton Unified School District, looking at a Promise program with Paramount Unified School District. I'm excited about that. That means the 3 major districts within our community. We have a College Promise, free college tuition. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about our construction projects on our campus. Right now, we have a $17.7 million project that's in design for a new instructional building. And so we should be starting construction sometime next summer. We're working on a new $20.4 million administration and student services building. My background is student services. So I'm trying to build the biggest, best student services building ever in community colleges. My staff went and visited 3 schools yesterday, 3 colleges. So I'm really excited about building that. We built a new police facility on our campus. We just opened a little theater, which was $3.1 million. We opened an allied health building for nursing, $13.1 million. We submitted a proposal to state. We have funding for $24 million. Another instructional building that got funded. So I got facilities projects coming down the line. So when we talk about projects, we talk about facilities, we talk about instruction. Like I keep coming, and I'm not gonna stop, and that's my motivation. But once we build out this campus, we gonna have in Compton one of the state-of-the-art facilities for community colleges. But I do have a crazy idea, right? So not only I got those projects.
You can share it right now.
I'm gonna share it right now. So here's my crazy idea. It's not too crazy. I want to build dorms. I want to be, actually, let me go back. My other presidential colleague says, Keith, don't say dorms, say residential halls, because we're educators. Okay, I want to build residential halls in Compton for kids from our community who wants to come and they can be able to live on campus, 600 beds. And the reason why I want to do this is because if you look at our students and transportation issues, students who are homeless. If a student comes to you and say, I'm homeless, what's my response? Oh, I have money, I can give you a hotel room for one night. That's not a long-term solution. Long-term solution is I have dorms. I have dorms, and I have a residential hall, and I have food for you in the dorms. I want to build a residential hall, 600 beds. But also, too, if I want to attract faculty and staff, if you live in LA County, you can afford to live here. LA Community College District did a study. 1 in every 5 LA Community College District students is homeless. And also, I saw a study in LA Times this past summer. We're talking about if you're not making $100,000, you can't really buy a house in LA County. Right. So if you try to attract faculty to be teachers on your campus, where they gonna live at? So my thing is, can we build residential halls where faculty can be able to stay in the dorms as advisors, at least for 1 or 2 years till they ever get set up to be able to purchase something. So that's my new idea. I don't know if I'm gonna pull it off, but I think it's a great idea.
I think it'll happen. It'll happen.
Hey, it'll happen.
All right, this is the buffet. Ending with a food and music question. Share with us what you like for your ultimate meal, and what would you pair it with musically?
Me too.
Woo. Okay, so nothing beats my wife's cooking. Right? Like my wife knows if I'm out of town, like I eat out. Right? I like to eat. You can see but if I eat out, I eat out. But nothing compares to my wife's cooking. So My wife's food is number one. So let me figure out. So what's my? Is there I gotta put like a dish? How you want
Yeah, you gotta have a dish. I mean, you can't just say my wife's cooking.
My wife's, cause she cooks it all.
Like, yeah, but so what exactly? What
she can make
the
it.
meal?
She can make anything that I ask for. She makes it. It doesn't matter. So let me go back. So my favorite meal is since I was a kid is pasta spaghetti, right? So I like pasta with the red sauce.
All right.
With meatballs.
All right.
So my wife can do the pasta with meatballs. She can do it with ground turkey. She can do it with beef. She can do it with chicken.
All right.
She mixes it all up. So that right there is the meal.
All right.
You can do it anyway with the red sauce. I'm good with that. So the music that goes with it, for me being from Compton, there's only one song that goes with me and Mills. There's only one song that goes with me in my career. And that's DJ Quick, Born and Raised. That's it. Period. There's nothing that goes with it. And I'm an avid, I'm a DJ Quick fan, right? And so there's nothing that I love listening to DJ Quick. I love NWA as well. I like Dr. Dre stuff also, but I'm trying to get into his new stuff, right? And I listen to Kendrick Lamar and I have all his albums, but also listening to the new stuff that's out there. So my students, I got some of my students who come to me and they give me their music. They say, Dr. Curry, we listen to my rap music. And I tell them, I said, if you ever make it, right, I will be in your video. I always tell them that, right? And I'm waiting for one of them to call me on it. But, I love to listen to our students' music because I see them working. We have studios on campus. We have one of our former women's basketball players. She's in there. She's a Latino woman. She writes, she produced, and she mixes her own stuff. Everything. And I'm sitting there, you know what that reminds me of? DJ Quick's first album. Who wrote it? He did. Who produced it? He did. Who mixed it? He did. He did everything. Right? And that album that reminds me of my life, right? I'm always looking like I look at DJ Quick, like he did, in order for him to make it to that, he did everything himself and he did it his way. That to me is my career. It's like I want to be able to do it my way and be successful at it. And so at the end of the day, it's always going to be pasta with red sauce, chicken, meatballs, ground beef. Doesn't matter. DJ Quick, Born and Raised in Compton.
On that note, Dr. Keith Curry, thank you. Oh, Joe Gable, 40th birthday.
Hey, happy birthday, Joe.
This weekend it's happening. Shout out to Joe Gable.
Joe, you need to become a Laker fan. And all you San Francisco Giants fans out there, I know you're talking about the Dodgers, but we still made it to the World Series. It was a classic, but we're going to be back. Y'all won't.
We'll be back. For real. Keith,
appreciate it.
Thank you. Buffet Show.